Up with KREM begins now.
3 schools in Coeur d'Alene have reinstated their mask mandates. Nicole Hernandez is live at one of those schools right now.
Yeah, it's 3 different schools in North Idaho that are making their kids wear masks again. I will explain which schools and which kids at those schools are going to have to follow these new rules.
Millions of children now have the FDA's approval to get the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine. There's mixed response from parents. Plus, we'll tell you when kids can actually start getting vaccinated.
And as we come up on 7 o'clock, temps are still in the 40s, but it feels much warmer if you can find some sunshine.
A mad dash to fill up on gas after a cyber attack puts one of the country's largest pipelines on pause. Plus, when the pipeline could be fully functional once again.
We do start this 7 o'clock hour off, though, with some breaking news. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol.
Let's get right to that breaking news out of North Spokane.
Spokane police officers are still working to find the suspects involved in a shootout that sent 2 people to the hospital.
So here's what we know. The shooting happened around 8 o'clock last night on East Wedgwood near the North Side Lowe's off of Division, which is next to the Serrano apartments. That's where officers found more than a dozen shell casings. 1
person was taken to the hospital and a second victim showed up to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Spokane PD do believe the second person was involved in the shooting.
Preliminarily, it doesn't seem that it's completely random, but again, motivation is something that will be continued to be investigated. So, yeah, we've got outstanding people, and this is a very violent scene.
Well, police tell us right now there's no active threat to the community, but 1 or more suspects are still on the run. Detectives were also on scene late last night, and the investigation is still ongoing at this time. Parts of Wedgwood Avenue and Colton Street were still closed around midnight last night.
We will continue to track this all morning long. You can also check on KREM.com for more additional information and updates.
All right, 7:02 now. We want to get to meteorologist Jeremy Legoo for a look at the forecast. Jeremy, it always comes at the 7 o'clock hour. The sun is shining outside.
Oh, it is so nice. It feels so nice to be out here when the sun is shining. And we are sitting at 48 degrees right now, so not much warmer than we were, say, an hour ago. But let me tell you, it feels much warmer, especially if I can find some of that sunshine. I'm just catching a quick tan. You guys are going to notice I'm much more tan when I come back into the studio. Temps in the 40s early on this morning, 51. Oh wow, I thought I was gonna sneeze, but I actually was able to stop it. It's springtime, and allergies are always a wonderful thing. A couple of stray showers late yesterday and overnight, those come to an end, but what we wind up seeing today is temperatures climbing. We're up to 70 once again here in Spokane. Just 70 today, but temperatures are going to be on the rise in the days to come. But if you like sun, enjoy it today, because tomorrow you might not get to see as much of it.
Jeremy, thanks so much. Right now, some students at 3 schools in Coeur d'Alene are waking up to a second day of reinstated mask mandates.
Masks will be required for the next 2 weeks because of a spike in coronavirus cases.
Right now, Nicole Hernandez is live at one of those schools where students will be showing up for classes soon. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning, Tim, Dana Marie. So I have this mask right here because this is what students are going to have to be wearing again here at Canfield Middle School and 2 others. So it's only been about 3 weeks since the district said students don't have to wear these masks anymore, but now 3 specific schools are going back to having some mask mandates because of a cluster of COVID-19 cases that came out of those schools. So here's a list of the schools this is actually going to be affecting. First up, starting today, 8th graders at Woodland Middle School will have to wear their masks. All students at Canfield Middle School will have to wear their masks, and 9th and 10th graders at Lake City High School will have to. 3 students tested positive for coronavirus at Canfield. Woodland also had 3 positive cases, but the district said it's more contained because the grades are separated, and 7 students tested positive at Lake City. After some contact tracing, all 3 schools determined that the students caught the illness at school. Now, the district has been on and off with whether or not students wear masks or they don't wear masks in school. Of course, back in March, when the Panhandle Health District took away the mask mandate for all of North Idaho, the school district specifically said they still wanted their students to wear masks because of coming back from spring break. And then they took that mask mandate away again about 3 weeks ago, and now we've got some schools going back to those masks. So we will make sure to keep you updated with this complicated situation and who will be wearing masks and who won't as we get this information. Live in Coeur d'Alene, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thanks for breaking that down. Well, the FDA expanded its emergency use authorization for the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine.
That's right. About 17 million children ages 12 to 15 can start getting the Pfizer vaccine as soon as Thursday. But first, the CDC committee will have to vote to approve the authorization. That vote is expected to happen tomorrow.
Now, parents and guardians can rest assured that in making our decision, the agency undertook a rigorous and thorough review of all available scientific data.
Pfizer's clinical trials show the vaccine is highly effective in preventing COVID-19 in young people, and there were no serious side effects.
There's that subset of people who are maybe not complete vaccine refusalists, but maybe vaccine hesitant. Unlike measles, mumps, and rubella or chickenpox, other things, this is taken more of a politicization.
A recent study showed 30% of parents will get their kids vaccinated as soon as possible, but about a quarter say they won't.
And of course, there are mixed responses to this vaccine news. We have asked a couple of parents right here in Spokane what they think about this.
Yes, my child was 12, I would definitely sign him up. I think that's the only way we're going to get some sort of herd immunity or protect the people who are not able to get vaccines. And I think that they've proven themselves to be reasonably safe.
You know, it's COVID-19 something we haven't really dealt with, and the pandemic was pretty big and kind of put us all through a huge loop. And to try to prevent that and to get that herd immunity, I think we all need to do it.
Well, if you were a teen, would you want to get vaccinated? We want to hear from you this morning. Vote in our live poll on social media. Head over to Twitter. You could also text us your thoughts, 509-448-2000. We're going to check in on your responses at the end of the hour. 65.5% of you are saying yes this morning. 7:06 now on your Tuesday morning. It's time for your morning rush. More news in less time.
Up first, 36 years after a woman's remains were found in Missoula County, Montana, authorities identified her as 23-year-old Janet Lee Lucas from Spokane.
Janet's remains were found by a bear hunter in September of 1985. Her remains could not be identified, so she became known as Christy Crystal Creek.
And using forensic genetic genealogy, a cold case unit was actually able to identify DNA relatives and family trees that led them to Lucas's family in Spokane. The sheriff's office has no record of Lucas living or spending time in Montana and are hoping to find anyone who may have seen her in the summer of 1983 into 1984.
You can now submit crime check reports online. Crime check online reporting allows people living in unincorporated Spokane County to easily report nonviolent crimes that are not currently happening. To get to the link, go to the bottom of your screen and then click online reporting. It will then take you to an online form to fill out. Right now, it's the only available for those in unincorporated Spokane County, but it will soon be available for other jurisdictions very soon.
The Spokane Public School District wants your input on the possible names for its 3 new middle schools, plus the potential renaming of the school currently known as the On Track Academy. They have narrowed it down to 3 possible names for each school this Wednesday. Now, the school board will review the finalists in a public meeting where you can weigh in, and they're expected to make their final decision for that meeting scheduled for May 26th.
The Spokane Shock will not have fans in the stands for their season opener on May 15th. The team says that the governor's office told them they couldn't have fans at that game, but they're refuting that claim. The team also announced today that previously scheduled Fan Fest event on May 12th is being postponed to an unnamed later date. You can watch all of the Shock's home games this year on KSKN. And that's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media.
And still to come this morning on Up with KREM, authorities are trying to clean up the mess left behind by a massive cyber attack. After the break, we'll tell you how it's affected the fuel industry and what the long-term effects could be.
And coming up in our next half hour, 2 longtime Bloomies got a little bit of help this year.
87 or 88, I think, was their first year.
Well, coming up, we hear from women who were joined by a class of 4th graders to run Bloomsday.